It is a good night at the castle, and I am elated.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, it's your girl KylerB coming at you for a new video. So today we're going to be talking about the Traitors season 3 episode 7. Let's get right into the video. So we basically picking back up where we left off with, the Traitors in the turret. Basically, you got Rob flabbergasted about what happened at the round table between Danielle and Carolyn. Rob still like looking at Danielle like, how could you voted for me? Carolyn voting for Danielle. Like, how are we supposed to move along as a team of traitors and nobody's on the same page? So then, it's just like when they try to figure out who to kill, because it was just like, how do we decide on somebody to murder? They started bringing like, Rob started saying like, oh, he wants to kill Derek, he wants to kill Dylan, like bring up people that, Danielle is very close to in the game. So with that being said, Danielle's like, no, I can't really murder, like me and Derek are very close. Dylan basically helps us in this game, like he's a very good like ally in this game, don't kill Dylan. So they're like, Danielle, you need to throw us a bone. So Danielle's like, if I give you Derek, would we start like building back that bridge to work together? And they're like, yes, we'll start building out the bridge. So she had to give up Derek to get murdered, and unfortunately Derek was murdered. In the whole grand scheme of things, killing Derek was the silly move. Derek literally concrete went after Rob, so killing him directly after doing that was wild. I understand the risk of letting him survive another night to go to the round table, and him bring up Rob at the round table would have been like very risky, so he wanted to like just get him out now. But Rob basically doing those moves where somebody came after him, clip, somebody came after him, clip, somebody, like, I understand you nip it in the bud, whatever, but that makes you so suspicious. You had to let something marinate. Like, I would say the Jeremy thing was the best out of like whoever came after a traitor, like, and getting Jeremy out was the best, because Jeremy never went to the round table and said, oh, I think it's Danielle. He just told a few people, and and then his killing was with two other people with him, so it doesn't look so suspicious that, oh, it's Danielle, definitely. But 3 different people came after Rob, and Rob ended up taking them out the game, so it looks very suspicious, him doing that. So yeah, they ended up killing Derek at their breakfast table. Everybody's shocked. Danielle is crying, and everybody's like, Sierra is basically like, I don't know why Danielle's crying, like he's not really dead, like you're doing the most crying, but she was really like hurt that she had to like give Derek up on the silver platter for Rob to murder him. So basically Dylan, once again, he's basically riding Rob's coattails. I'm just like, just because he gave you Bob the drag queen doesn't mean you have to keep on working with him. Like, so basically Derek, before he got killed, he's told Dylan, he's like, here's some information. I think there's 2 people who are the traitors. There is Rob, Boston Rob, and then there is Brittany. He thought Brittany was a traitor because Brittany kind of felt like a little, like, was like so against Rob being a traitor. So he was like, I think it's these 2 people, Rob and Brittany. So he went up after the breakfast, told Rob this. So Rob's like, he got a new candy, he got a new name to go after. Like, he was just like, okay, this at the round table, I'm gonna go after Brittany. I'm gonna go after Brittany. Who is a game player in this game? Who played Big Brother? Who played like these reality shows that you have to manipulate? It's Brittany. Who has the one to do this? So anyways, that's everybody's kind of like circulating Brittany's name, because like, oh, Brittany doesn't really talk at the round tables like that, so everybody's kind of like, oh yeah, it has to be Brittany, So Rob's mewing on, letting it marinate with his name. He's letting people say Brittany. Then Tom Sandoval, he finally woke up because he like heard the conversation happening. You know, Rob was like, let me go tell you this, like, here's a new name to go after tonight at the round table. So Tom Sandoval was like, and he's like, yeah, okay, what, like, how Derek said your name, he got murdered. Like, this can't be a coincidence. Bob H said your name, he got murdered. Like, he even went up to Sam. He was like, Sam, didn't you say if, you know, Derek stayed a couple nights ago, you were gonna have to go after him? Like, he was just like, no, let's start thinking, let's start using our brains. So they're like, you're not making sense. But like, Tom is like, no, think about it. So he talked to Ivar, all that, whatnot, so forth. So anyway, this challenge for the day was like, the challenge was so, like, basically face your fears, essentially. So you have to basically be partner up, be in groups, and pairs of 2, whatever, and the person you partner up with is basically gonna help you get a shield or not. So Danielle was with Brittany, Sierra was with Rob, Carolyn was with Gabby, Dolores with Chriselle, you know, Tom Sandoval with Dylan, all that, so forth, basically. So it was basically, you know, you gotta hold your hand, and then they're gonna have in this box, and they're gonna be placing bugs, maggots, spiders, whatnot in this box, and you gotta hold, you keep on holding their hand, and if you let go of the hand, you lose your shield. So the first round, the first thing, you know, Chriselle basically pulled her hand out of the box before, you know, I think the centipede or millipede came on their hand, and Dolores just like, wow, you didn't even try. Like, you didn't even try. Like, I wanted to get a shield today, and you didn't even try. So, you know, Dolores was just like, I picked wrong. Danielle and Brittany was basically acing this challenge. Carolyn too, but Carolyn was very like worried and scared. She was just like, I gotta beat Danielle because I don't want her to kill off Gabby. But obviously Danielle and Brittany ended up winning the shield.
Big brother in the house! That's how we roll! I have to say, I think that as a pair together, Danielle and I were amazing.
Tom Sandoval and Dylan did not end up winning the shield. I don't think so. I think it was Ivar and Sam who ended up winning the shield. Is it Ivar and Sam? I think so. And then obviously Rob and Sierra ended up winning the shield. Because they end up winning the game. Chriselle and Dolores is up for grabs. You know, Carolyn and, you know, Gabby up for grabs. And I think one of the set of guys is up for grabs as well for, you know, murder. I believe it was like 6 people out of the 12 that's left. So we head to the round table. And, you know, Rob is basically telling, you know, Carolyn and Danielle, like, we got to go after Brittany. So Danielle is just like, I already gave you Derek. I can't keep on giving you up my people. I'm going to have to, like, basically put my foot down. Like, you went after Bob the drag queen, who was her ride or die. You took out Derek, who was her very close friend that's outside of this game. And then now you want to go after Brittany. So she's like, I got to put my foot down. So she was just like, yeah, I'm whatever. But she wasn't really rocking with it. Carolyn, she was just like, she's not really rocking with the Brittany idea either. So she was just like, So moving on, you know, they're like Brittany. They're like, oh, go after Rob. Still go after Rob. Use with your heads. Go after Rob. At the round table, you know, they want to go after Brittany because they're like, oh, this is what Derek said at the end of the game before he got murdered. He's like, you're probably a traitor. And she was just like, because what she said on the round table, because when Dylan was trying to make a vote between Wes and Rob, she was like, no, don't pick Rob. Basically, you know, go, you know, because he was like hesitant of how he was going to vote. and Derek caught that. So with that being said, she had to defend herself with that, like what she said at the round table, and they're like, oh, you like seem sus doing that, and he's murdered. So then Rob jumps in. He's like, yeah, who has the ability to do all this because they play a competitive game like Big Brother, da da da. And it's Brittany. Like, she's like, it's a compliment really, but she's like, thanks for the compliment, but I am not a traitor. Like, I'm not a traitor. Tom Sandoval, he went after Rob. He was like, let's think about this. Like, 3 nights now, people that went after you got murdered, got banished. Like, let's think about it. Like, yes, you gave up Bob the Drag Queen because Bob the Drag Queen was basically a dominant player, and you wanted to basically be the only dominant player in the turret. So they're just like, either Rob or Brittany up for grabs. And when the votes came down to it, Sierra thinking that it's Brittany because, the challenge today with Rob and whatnot. But, yeah, she's thinking, oh, Rob is, he's not a traitor, like, blah, blah, blah. What's it called? Chriselle voted for Tom because she didn't know who to pick. And I think somebody else voted for Tom, which was like, why are you throwing votes on Tom? Like, Tom is obviously not a traitor, but you're just wasting votes on Tom for what? If so many, like, 2 people voted for Tom because they didn't think it was Rob. Gabby was the only one with sense that was like, I actually think it is you, Rob. She didn't think it was Rob, but she was just like, I gotta vote for, what, made more sense. And even Danielle and Carolyn, they were like, we gotta vote for Rob. So at the end of the day, Rob got banished, and he was a traitor.
I am, and always have been, from the very beginning, a traitor.
So when he left the game, he was like, oh, Danielle, she's not even a good traitor. She's not even a good game player, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's like, with Carolyn, like, oh, I got you, Carolyn. I don't know why Carolyn voted against me, da, 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 da. Like, he was upset that he got banished. But I'm just like, you're basically just trying to play for yourself. Like, you're basically trying to play for yourself. And I understand you're trying to play to win. But going after people who like that too aggressively like that, especially after Derek basically called you out, was the wrong move. Like, you shouldn't have done that. He was so mad. He was like calling Danielle like a bad game player, bad traitor. But I'm like, at the end of the day, Danielle's still in the game and you're not. Because everybody's so hyped. Dylan looks so shook because he's like, wow, he really pulled the wool over your eye. Even Tom Sandoval was like, yeah, he was playing you. He was using you as a pawn. Like, and he's like, even though I lost, he was a traitor. He was a good ally in this house. Da, da, da. But I'm just like, dude, you were getting used. But I mean, at least he had the game spirit in him, because a lot of people take that to heart. Like, oh wow, you used me and feel some type of way. But it is what it is. With that being said, Alan, he basically tells everybody at the round table, tonight's murder, the traitors are going to kill you face to face. So everybody shook. Even like everybody was genuinely shook because he didn't even tell the traitors, Carolyn and Danielle, that's what they're gonna do. So they're gonna have to kill somebody face to face. They're the last 2 standing as the traitors. And they were just like, we couldn't really help Rob out of this because like it wasn't beneficial to help Rob. So is what it is. They got Boston Rob out of there. So now we're down to 2 traitors and almost 10 people left in the game. Like I said, I think Danielle is going to make it to at least top 5. Like, she's playing a little messy, but I think there's a method to her madness, and I feel like she's going to end up getting down to like the finals, like very much so. Like, I feel like she's probably going to win, or she's getting like very close and something bad happens or whatever. But she's doing a decent job. It's not too bad, because I mean, Everybody just thinks she's just doing the most with the crying and being emotional. They don't really have any suspect of like, oh, she's like playing onto something. They just think she's like overly emotional, and that's about it. And I think it's working in her favor to be overly emotional so far, because nobody besides Jeremy, nobody really suspected her. I mean, Nikki because of the questions, but that was about it. But nobody really suspected her to be a traitor. But anyways, that was episode 7 of the Traitors US season 3. I can't wait to see what happens, who they're gonna murder face to face.
Kingdom for a traitor. But you were too faithful. It is done.
I have a feeling that it might be Dylan, or it might be Gabby. It has to be Dylan or Gabby, because I feel like Dylan is just like, you know, since Rob is gone, he's probably gonna face his focus to somebody else. But I feel like it might be Dylan. But it depends on out of the 6 or really the 5 people who, because they only have a slim pickings of who to kill. So Carolyn was the one that couldn't she lost her shield, but she is a traitor, so it's only 5 people. So it's Chrishell, Dolores. They might kill Dolores, I don't know. I mean, they should get Chrishell out of there, to be honest. Who else is there? I think it's Dylan and Tom Sandoval who's up for grabs too. And then Gabby. So it's Gabby, Chrishell, Dolores, Dylan, and Tom Sandoval, I think. That's up for grabs. So we'll have to see what goes from there. But anyway, guys, that was episode 7 of the Traitors US season 3. And if you like the video, comment down below and let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.